So John Oliver, like, fresh off of, like, the coldest BJ from a transgender person that he's ever gotten his entire life, fresh off that comes right onto his show and goes on this rant where he does what the modern socialist cult basically does. He presents one, biased side of the argument, and completely dismisses all the real, actual issues that are plaguing our society right now, that has essentially become a cancer on our society right now. Yeah, he ignores all those issues in favor of the argument, why do you care, bro?
Regarding youth sports, there were a lot of attack ads on that one issue, and it was frustrating to see the Harris campaign fail to formulate a response, especially because it's pretty easy to do. Watch, I'll do it for you right now. As we've discussed before, there are vanishingly few trans girls competing in high schools anywhere.
I raced against a transgender athlete in the 1600-meter race.
Even if there were more, trans kids, like all kids, vary in athletic ability, and there is no evidence they pose any threat to safety or fairness.
Yeah, so according to John Oliver, boys competing against girls in girls' sports is perfectly fair and okay. The logic of this argument is basically non-existent. I mean, if that was the case, then why did we ever separate boys and girls in sports to begin with? It just doesn't make a lick of sense whatsoever. And if you're one of the people that believes this trash, there's no help for you. There's no hope for you. You have purposefully implemented cognitive dissonance where you believe what you want to be true instead of what's actually true. And that's what's happening with John Oliver here. Let me just give you guys like an overhead 10,000-foot view of my position here, period. It's basically the entire Western civilization has been subverted, co-opted by an altruist morality standard. The standard of morality is no longer actual morality. The standard of morality now is a socialist morality, that's viewed as the pinnacle of morality right now, is be kind and be compassionate and just, who cares about all the problems that it's causing in society? Just let these people do whatever they want and be themselves. And the reality is that's not morality, man. Like, the morality would be doing what's best for everyone. Sometimes you have to make compromises and do what's best for the entire group at the expense of some people's feelings or some people's, and basically, you're seeing it more and more that this communist socialist morality is becoming like the standard here in the West.
It is very weird for you to be so focused on this subject. And finally, if you genuinely want to address the biggest concern for most girls who play high school sports, you'd be less worried about this and more about the creepy assistant volleyball coach who keeps liking their posts on Instagram.
Another completely just ignorant viewpoint there, like just ignorant nonsense. Like, yeah, we care about that too, but we also care about this. If we don't center our moral compass back to reality, and instead of what we want, reality to be, we just got bad. We got some bad things coming.
Because at 14 years old, even I can see that the current rules aren't working for biological girls or transgender athletes. In May of this year, I ran in the Kashmir Junior Olympics. I had heard of this happening around our country, but I never expected to encounter it firsthand. All of the runners had lines up to race, I noticed that this athlete was built very differently than all of the other girls. It wasn't until we were on the podium that I heard the commotion of upset adults and kids. That is when I heard that the athlete that was standing next to me on the first place podium was a biological boy. My heart sank and I felt extremely discouraged. I felt like all my hard work that I had put in throughout the year didn't matter, and that it was just going to be forgotten. My family and I spoke up about how unfair this was. We didn't speak up about how unfair this was because I didn't get first and didn't win. We spoke up because boys racing against girls at this level of competition isn't right and it isn't fair.
And there is no evidence they pose any threat to safety or fairness.
It felt like we were being told to shut up, stop complaining, and just deal with it.
It is very weird for you to be so focused on this subject.
All those biological girls sitting up there next to me had worked just as hard as I had throughout the entire season. But at that moment, our hard work and talent did not matter. This is why I'm speaking up. Our female athlete voices need to be heard because we are the ones that this is personally affecting. Adults have attacked my family and me for speaking up for fairness and protection of biological girls in sports. Lee and I have been told by adults that we are transphobic, that I am a sore loser, and that I value winning more than a human life. I feel like the same people who are attacking female athletes for speaking up do not care about the mental tolls and struggles this is also taking on female athletes.
Why do we value the mental health of one subset of people more so than all the other female competitors?
I have learned so much going through this experience. My biggest takeaway is that allowing boys to compete in girls' sports isn't working and it is not fair. It isn't fair and it isn't working for biological girls, and it isn't fair and it isn't working for transgender athletes. The things I have heard about this transgender athlete and me are awful and damaging. I am only 14 and I shouldn't have to deal with these kinds of adult issues. But here I am, speaking up, hoping that adults will step up and do what is right.
That ABC, he didn't want to lose his job, so he's doing this for, at worst, he's just a spineless coward, and he didn't want to lose his job for his family or whatever, so he decided to go along with this instead of, which, let's give him that benefit of the doubt. But if we do that, it actually exposes an even bigger rift here in society. This is exactly why you cannot have media outlets who are completely one-sided and biased on certain situations, misinforming the public like this. Because, you know, if these people want to keep their job, they're going to go along with this garbage. It takes you really have to stand on principle and say, you know what, fuck it. I don't care what happens. I'm not doing this. If I lose my job because of it, okay, it'll cause some stress for me for a couple months until I find another job or whatever. I'll deal with that, you know, because you have to stand on principle. This is more important to me, to stand on principle and not misinform the public with this garbage than it is to keep this job. If it's like the economist fallacy, you know, you can find, you can have the dumbest, most pitiful plan in the world, economic plan in the world, and you can find some economist that is going to look at it and go, yeah, this is great, let's do it, because he wants the job. Because a real economist that actually sees that it's a complete, utter failure is going to have to stand on principle and tell the president or whoever in this, say the president in this case, that no, this is a terrible fucking idea, and if you implement it, it's going to cause catastrophe. You could find 5-10 economists that will stand on principle and actually tell you the truth, but there's going to be those couple that you can find that are just willing to tell you exactly what you want to hear in hopes that they get the job. This is why these biased media outlets, this can't continue. It's got to be stopped. Hello, my name is Alan, and welcome to my channel. I make videos mostly regarding policy, culture, economics, controversial topics, and whatever else just happens to come up. If you guys have any suggestions for the videos, I'd be happy to take them. And I really hope you come back. Thanks for watching.